So it was the network here. So
Okay.
can you now continue?
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. I guess I stopped at the interview date, right? The interview session, right?
Yes, you can continue.
Yeah. So for the interview, as I've said, on the submission date, I said they will have separated the document, the photocopy and the original. So please don't rearrange. But the way we arrange it, that is the way you should go there on the interview date. The way they arrange your document for you. So that should be the way you go there on the interview date. Just go there directly. Hello, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I think others. Wait,
Okay.
let's hear from others. Okay, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So on the interview dates, as I've said, I said dress corporately. It's not necessary too much, but just dress decently. You can put on suits. It's fine, but it's not a must. So you give the officer the document, both the original and the photocopy. So they just look at your documents. For the CSC students, they don't, okay, there is one policy I heard last year that Lagos is requesting for 3 million of account statements. I guess it is a false statement. It's not compulsory you have 3 million or whatever in your account. So far it is CSC, scholarship. They know that you are coming for CSC scholarship. That is the government that is going to cater for everything. So there is no need to start thinking of how to get 3 million or 4 million. It is for those that are coming on a self-sponsor that require a bank statement. However, for those that are coming with a CSC scholarship, you can just print out your bank statement, irrespective of the amount that is in your account. It's not a must for 3 million. That is for Lagos. I'm very sure of that. When I did my own, I didn't have up to maybe, let's say, 1 million at most, and then I still have some money some people gave me to keep them. So, but it's not compulsory to have million. If it's still 100,000, 200,000, it's still okay. So far you're on CSC scholarship or university scholarship. But if it's self-sponsor, then you must have a huge amount of money in your account. So that's for that. I just remember that now. The other thing is, they will ask you that what is your mission for going to this China? You are going there on a study. You're going there for a study purpose. So also they can ask you what is the name of your school. I'm very sure you should know the name of your school. So either you pronounce it well or you don't pronounce it well. They know you are not conversant. I can hear the moderator saying Suko University. So my school is called Sujo University, or you call it Suda. So they know you are not familiar with their pronunciation. So anyhow you pronounce it is welcome. So that is that. Another question they can ask you, do you have any guarantor or whatever? If you have any guarantor, fine. If you don't have any guarantor, but you should have filled that part of your application. It's part of the application. The guarantor is just that when you misbehave, I'm very sure people coming to China, you are very mature. So just to have someone as a backup that if anything happens, they can easily fall back on those people. So that is why they always ask you to fill a guarantor in the application. Then another thing is, part of the documents that you are going to submit on the interview date, please and please, as I've said, I say you go there with both the original and the photocopy. Please and please, the original documents they are to collect from you is the application form. That is a visa application form you fill online. And the visa application form and your bank statement and your own bank statement that you submit, the original one. Those are the original copy they can collect from you. For the medical form, please, they will only collect photocopy because you still need the original when you get here. Otherwise, if they should collect original from you at the embassy, when you get here, you are still going to do another medical form, which is going to cost you nothing less than 400 RMB. And that is about 30,000 or between 20 to 30,000 plus Nigeria money. So please make sure when they are trying to collect some document from you, make sure it's only the application form, the original application form and your bank statement. Those are the original documents they are supposed to collect from you. Once they collect the medical, you can easily ask, don't be panic. You can easily call their attention. So please take note of that. Then one other thing again is, okay, after the interview, so you'll be given a slip to come after 5 working days to come and pick up your passport. So after 5 working days, that is when you'll be able to know either you are given the visa or not. So if you are given the visa, good luck. But if you are not given the visa, it is not a bad luck. It's still part of experience. You can easily apply immediately. You can easily apply immediately with the same documents. So don't be panicked, but I'm very sure you'll be given the visa application, the visa by God's grace. So I guess I can stop for now. And if there is any other question
Yeah,
or
maybe you
anything
can
I
share
remember,
us
then
some
you
of
can
your
ship in.
ideas why coming from Nigeria to China. Just 5 minutes more, or less than 5 minutes more. Just general idea.
The general idea. Hello?
Yeah, general idea, general maybe encouragement, general idea, things to plan.
Okay. Okay, as regards that, it depends. For those, it depends on where you are coming, but I would just advise you to come with, in terms of shelter, just come along with few clothes because you are going to have as much as possible here. Then, if it is during winter, you have winter jackets here. Although you can get 1 or 2, but not just to burden yourself too much. You have enough here. Then, in terms of food, because I do hear a lot of rumor that they are eating this and that. You have a lot of food here, except what you can just find here is what is called the cassava flavor, which is gari. I think that is what I have not found here. And we have Nigerian market here, but it's just a bit expensive. You want to buy it online. It's just expensive. That is the only food. In terms of rice, they have varieties of rice. We have a lot of rice there, both the Chinese rice, we have the Pakistani rice. It's even far better than the Nigerian rice, the Pakistani rice. They call it basmati rice. So for beans, there's beans here, there's maize here, there's a lot, there are flowers here, which you can use as to replace semo and other things because I know food is very important. That is number one. So they have pepper here, they have everything here. So I guess if you just want to bring food, you can just bring gari just to sustain yourself for some days. Then in terms of, okay, I don't need to talk about that. I wanted to say something about oil because I heard they don't allow that for you to bring that along. But you can easily get palm oil here too online. It's just a bit expensive too because they ship that in from Nigeria. So that's just that. Then, if possible, I will encourage you to open Alipay or WeChat so that you can have communication with some people here in China, so that they can easily pick you up at the embassy. If you have friends in the school you apply to or you got admission, they can easily pick you up at the embassy, or you communicate with your supervisor when you are coming so that it will not be stressful for you because you may not have the, what's it called, RMB, unless you want to exchange the money at the embassy. So for you to transport yourself from the embassy down to your school, so it's better you get in touch with friends in that school you are going. So that's will be better. Thank you.
Okay, all right, Mr. Rashid, I really appreciate your contribution. And I believe some people have questions. Maybe we will give room for questions after Mr. Victor we talk. Okay, so now we thank you. Yeah, you can hold your mic. Okay, now we'll be going to one of our brother, Mr. Victor. Mr. Victor is from Geoscience, China University of Geoscience in Wuhan. He's doing his MSc in Geoscience. So that's all he has for us. So he will be speaking to us in the next 20 minutes. So Victor, yeah, Victor, you can unmute. Okay, you have the hair now. We would like to see your face.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and good morning for those who are listening.
Victor, please, sorry, before you continue, we have a good news. Zoom just sent to me now, like they lifted the 40 minutes limit time, so we can talk unlimited. So thanks to Zoom and thanks to anyone that did it. So we don't need to log in and unlog in, so we can continue. Victor, I need to see your face.
Don't worry. I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So for the those who are back home in Nigeria, for the applicants and those who have already gotten admission for this year, what I would say is congratulations to those who have gotten admission. Yeah, we are in very, very strange times, but I believe with time everything will go back to a semi-normal situation. So I just want to briefly talk about because right now there's a lot of uncertainty about how the visa application will look like this year. Some of the information we're giving right now may not be correct because of the whole situation. They may change the visa process again because when I came here in 2018, the visa process and last year was not the same. So it's always subject to change, but the key elements still remain the same. You need to apply to the center, and you need to do a submission, and then you need to do an interview. So my advice for Abuja is the Abuja embassy is a little bit more busy than the Lagos center, not embassy, the collection center. So if you are going to apply to the Abuja collection center, you need to do it as soon as you get your documents. You don't need to waste any time. You need to do it as soon as you get your document because a lot of people are applying from there. So getting interview dates is usually a problem. Both last year and 2 years ago, there was consideration for scholarship students, but that came later. As the time was fast approaching, they now considered and invited scholarship students for expedited interview. But you cannot rely on that. You have to make sure you do your submission early and try to get an early interview. It's the best you can do. So in general, the whole process is just like the person who spoke before me said. You need to make sure you go with all the required documents, the originals. Then you need to make sure your documents are well notarized, your police form, everything. I will suggest, as a note of warning to all of us, please, our country, Nigeria, we have suffered enough. Please, if you need any document, I suggest you try your best to get the original document. Please, any cutting of corners is unacceptable, and it only makes things worse for people behind us. You understand? 2 years ago, if you get your police report, you just notarize it through a lawyer or through a court, you take it to the embassy. It's okay for them. But because of the way Nigerians are just police reports, we don't even want to do that one well. We want to still cut corner. So now it's even last year there were a lot of difficulties. You have to take it here, you have to take it there, take it to Ministry of Finance, and by these things all adding additional costs to the students. I'm not saying anything about any of us. Those that do it too, they are Nigerians. So this is why I say we should all make sure anything we are doing, any document we are taking, don't engage in something that will make it even harder for those behind you to get visa or to get opportunities. We should all try our best to be as honest as possible and do the right thing. There is no need spending an extra 1,000 or 2,000 to get your visa is not what is going to really change your financial status. Moreover, when we come here, we all know what the scholarship is worth. When you come here, you actually have an opportunity to study and save money. So that our main interest is to make sure all our documents are genuine and authentic, and you go there and you arrange everything. So as far as I know, those on CST and those on normal scholarships are not on university scholarships are not forced to present sponsorship of millions and millions in their account. You know, the collection center, the information you go there, you have to know this. When you go to the collection center, it's also in Churchgate in Abuja. The information you get there may change every day because some of the people who are working there, they don't actually know anything. That's the simple truth. You go today, they tell you one thing, you go tomorrow, they tell you another thing. But the broad strokes remain the same. You need your original document, JW form, the health form, your educational certificate, your birth certificate. You need to authenticate everything, and these are the things you need to do. Obviously, when the process starts, those of us who passed through it in the last year, can you hear me? Okay. So those of us that passed through it in the last year or so will still provide a guide to everybody on what they need to do. But the key thing is to get all your documents in order and just apply on time. So unfortunately, with the situation of things, it doesn't appear as if a September resumption is going to be possible for the people who just got admitted. But hopefully they will come to an arrangement soon on how those who are still in Nigeria or those who are still outside China can come to China and resume their study. So in the meantime, I assume that most people will resume online. So, and that will be very difficult due to several reasons. But my suggestion for everybody is to try and make sure you get a very stable network and familiarize yourself with the several applications. Zoom is okay, but depending on the school, Zoom is not used everywhere. They use other applications, so you should, and most of them are in Chinese, but you should try to like Tencent Huiyi. Tencent Huiyi is also widely used for lectures, so you should try to get it and try to be familiar with it, because especially given that everybody will be at home, nobody will really have time to guide you through it, so you need to learn by yourself. I'll put the name of the app in the group. You can try to download it and have it on your phone and maybe on your laptop, and just because this is one of the most important apps you're going to need. And maybe WeChat workstation too. You can also have that because it's also what some teachers will use to give assignments and classwork and the rest. So that, you know, the application process, we will see how it will go. But my suggestion is just like the previous person, Abuja, you have to go early and you have to have all your documents. You don't need to bribe anybody to get you visa. Please, you don't need to bribe anybody to get you visa. Get all your documents, make sure you get your documents early, and then make sure the way you get them is authentic. Even if you spend money, make sure you spend money on an authentic way to get the authentic document. But you don't need to bribe. Most of the people who I know who came 2018, and even the people who came 2019, we didn't have to bribe anybody to give us visa, because you have your scholarship. You don't need to bribe anybody. You can So that is just the short advice. I don't know. I see there's a lot of people have questions. So maybe during question time, people can answer different questions. So there's a question I just saw. I just want to briefly answer. I know there are other questions about the application. My suggestion is this: there are thousands of universities in China. So you will always find a university you can apply to. You need to be good at searching. Don't follow just because you know somebody in this city, you apply to only that school. You need to know how to use your Google to search. Google is free. Nobody's charging us money for it. Once you have subscription, you can search. There are over 34 provinces in China, and each of them have hundreds of universities. You can search through those universities. A lot of them have university scholarship, provincial scholarships, which you can apply for. You just don't depend on maybe you apply. I see someone is asking, what if you have 2-2, can you apply? Definitely you can apply and you will get scholarship. You just need to broaden your search, and then you need to search as many universities as possible and apply to as many places as possible. And this is what will help the chances of you getting the scholarships. It doesn't mean some people apply to only one university and they get scholarship. Some people apply to 10 universities before they get one. Some people apply to 100 universities before they get one. So everybody's, will I say, fortune is not the same. So you need to apply as widely as possible, but you need to be reasonable in your application. You need to be reasonable in your application. If the school have already stated their requirements, you need to make sure you meet their requirements. And you don't just apply to places where you know you don't meet the requirement and you're expecting miracle to happen. There are other schools where you meet their requirements. It's best to save your application money for those schools that you meet their requirements. I'm not saying you shouldn't aim high, but I'm saying you should be also realistic. If you want to apply to a school, you know it's outside you are outside their requirement, then I suggest you also apply to 2 schools that you are within their requirements as a safety. And at the end of the day, we all know that it's God that bless everything, but these are the most important things you need to do to ensure the success of your application. So I don't know, there will be question and answer, and I'm sure there are a lot of old so hopefully we can go through the question and help people have any question they have. So briefly, this is what I have to say about visa application in the present situation, and also about those applicants who still want to apply for next year. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Mr. Victor, are you down? Hello, Victor. Hello, Victor. Hello? Hello, Victor, can you hear me? Hello? You can unmute your mic now, Victor. Yeah. Victor, can you hear me now?
I don't talk finish now. I've finished what I have to say.
Okay, I think if you have like maybe 7 minutes time, so please stay online. Yeah, Mr. Victor was opportune to be in China during the pandemic, and he was even in the
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. So I just wanted to address something.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Victor, can you hear me? Okay. Mr. Victor was opportune to be in Wuhan during the pandemic period. And I think he might have something to share with us, like how he was able to cope. He still have like maybe 7 minutes to talk. So I just want him to just give us some general idea of how he was able to cope during the pandemic and being in the epicenter, pressure from home, pressure from friends, pressure from the surrounding. So I want him to just give us some little brief of how he was able to cope during those periods. Oh, Victor. Yeah. Do you get my point? Hello, Victor.
Yes, I can hear you.
Do you got my point, my question?
I didn't hear what your question. Please, can you repeat?
I said, you are in China during the pandemic and you are in the epicenter, like in Wuhan. So how were you able to cope during this period from pressure from home, pressure from friends, even pressure from the environment in which you are? Like you wanted to give us some little brief about how you were able to cope during this period.
This question is a very heavy question. I'm not sure even up to now I have the answer. But well, one of the things that once you leave the comfort of your country, you enter plane, you go another man land. One thing you have to realize is you have to be ready for the good and the bad. Of course, nobody plans it, nobody anticipates it, but it happens. So when the situation started, to be fair, all of us wanted to go back to Nigeria. We didn't want to stay. And the situation at a particular point was looking very bad. So, but thank God, the situation got better. After time goes on, you just realize to calm down is the best thing. Because even with pressure from people, sometimes when they call you from home that they had everybody in Wuhan have died finish. But you have to convince them that that's not true. At least they can hear your voice. So, and also the pressure from the environment too is there. But all in all, the key lesson here is we should be ready for everything. That's just what I would say. Wherever you are, we should be ready for everything, and we should. Also, not giving to too much panic. That's just one thing I would say. For your own good, for your own safety, it's better you don't give into too much panic. So when everything was happening, if you just give yourself high blood pressure, there's nothing you gain from it. But this is one other things the previous presenter talked about. When you come to China or anywhere you go, this goes both ways. There are a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes about people from Africa, people from Nigeria, or Nigerians have of people in China. When you come here, for your own good, you better drop all the stereotypes you know at the door. Drop it in the airport. It's useless. When you come here, you use your eye to learn. You use your ears to hear. Because this is what will give you a new perspective on where you are and what you need to do. So because, there are a lot of, and all these kind of stereotypes are what make things even difficult for us, because people will call you from Nigeria and they'll say, they heard so, and they heard this and they heard that. But you that you are here, it's not true. Especially the example of the food something. People tell you all sorts of things are happening here, but when you come here, you see that it's not like that at all. And then within the first few weeks, everybody comes here, they complain about the food. The food, I don't like the food, I don't like it. But after you stay here for a few weeks, you find what you like and what you don't like. There are thousands of foods here. Even we that were from Nigeria, it's not every food we like. You find the ones you can eat and the one you cannot eat, and you learn how to manage. If you are the one that like cooking, you order your ingredients, you cook. If you like eating in your school canteen, out of everything they have, you may not like 99%, but you will find the one you like, and you find how you can mix and match and live your life normally. So for the pandemic, I believe Agwamtu is here, Madaki is also here, he's also in Wuhan. So we all know how it was that time, but we thank God. The only thing I wanted to add is that we should, in dealing with this kind of pressure, especially because as the pandemic was going on, we were still attending online classes, we were submitting assignments, we were submitting reports, and whereby you are listening to the news and they are telling you that people are getting infected and some people are dying. So, but it's just I just have to learn how to deal with this thing as a student, as someone who is focused and you know what you are here for. Our aim is to study and create a better future. So you try to, don't allow the situation to get to you too much. So even for those of you who may be at home, who are already gotten admission, but you may be at home for the meantime and be receiving lessons at home, you have to learn how to pay attention and try as much as you can to integrate yourself into your research group and see how you can start your research, even though you are not in China yet. There's no time to waste, and you should try as much as you can. There are a lot of things you don't know. Learn the ones you can learn by yourself and ask questions. It may be difficult for you to get answers, but keep asking the right questions, you know. So many of us, we come here, we don't even make any effort to learn, including myself, and it will even make it more difficult for you. During their bachelors here, they learn a lot of softwares. I think our Oga Tolu can bear witness. They learn a lot of softwares. They learn a lot of things we in bachelor, we have no idea it exists. And by the time you are starting masters with those same people, they already have an advantage over you. So these are all the things you have to play catch up. You have to learn those softwares sometimes by yourself because nobody will have time to teach you. But that's why I will suggest that as soon as you get in touch with your research group, your supervisor, you need to learn what are the softwares I need to know. Which journals is prominent in my research. You need to start reading papers from those journals to have an idea of what is expected of you. It's not the kind of masters and PhD we are doing in Nigeria. So at least if you want to make a difference and if you want your masters or your PhD to lead you somewhere better, the sooner you start, the better. At least some of us here, we attended Tolu's defense, and we saw the kind of work he did. You know, those kind of work is not easy. He will give his own testimony, but he had to suffer and learn a lot of things by himself. But that's what is needed of you, especially given our background. So that's just what I would suggest. Anytime you have should be a time you use to learn something new that will help you. And you dealing with pressure from home, and you just learn how to do that. But you should also learn how to use your time very well. And also, the fourth point, please, if you come to China, whether you are doing Chinese taught, whether you are doing English taught, please try to learn a little bit of the language. It will go a long way to make your life easy. Even if you want to be buying and selling, whatever you want to do in China, if you know a little Chinese, it will go a long way to make it easier for you to find what you are looking for you to make friends, anything you can think of. Just don't come here and say, it's too hard, I can't learn anything at all. No. Even if your course is English taught, I know some schools now are requiring even those with English taught that they must pass Chinese before they graduate. So just try and learn a little bit. It's very, very, very helpful. Those that have stayed longer than some of us that came just maybe last year or 2 years will bear witness. The little Chinese will know, really, really help you, especially outside your school. Maybe in your school, everybody's speaking English. Most of the people are speaking English. But when you go outside your school, you want to buy anything. It's really very interesting. I won't say it's difficult, it's interesting. So you should try to learn a little bit. It's not as hard as everybody makes it seem. And it's also not so easy, but you should try and learn a little bit to go a long way to help you to make things easier for you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Victor. We really appreciate that. Tosin Afolabi, I can see your question, and I will want to address it maybe later. I can see your agenda and OND stuff. Yeah, there's a method in which you can use to get this stuff done. You can't do it directly like the way it is. Mr. Rashid, you said you wanted to add something, so I will give you maybe 3 minutes to make that discussion very fast. Then Mr. Agon Madaki will be coming up to speak to us next.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So thanks to the other speaker that responded to some of the questions. Then I just want to quickly chip in some of the things I couldn't remember the other time. So I had someone asking how can you find some schools on this? So there is a site I will try to give out now, whereby you can find each country with different universities they have. So, and also I'll try to say this for those that are still aspiring to get admission. You can also look at other countries from this site and get some more.
I think we lost him again. Maybe if you can hear us, we can hear him. So I'll be giving space for Madaki to come in and share us what he has to tell us. Okay, Madaki. Okay, you can unmute yourself now. Agwon. I can't hear you. Maybe
Hello.
Yeah, I think I can hear you now.
Hello.
Quiet, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Madaki is my name, and I'm a master's student from China University of Geosciences, Wuhan. And this morning, I will be talking about how to apply for admission, as well as scholarship in Chinese universities. So I will first of all start by telling you that China have multiple of scholarships, not only one, not only two. So there are different categories of scholarship that a candidate or a prospective candidate can apply for. And not only the numerous number of scholarships that are available, there are numerous numbers of universities as well as institutes that students can come to study. You know, China is very populated, and they have large number of institution of learning, unlike Nigeria. So you are meant to make your research based on your course of study and your course of interest to the various schools that are available. From there, you can be able to make your choice about which school fits your purpose. So I will start by saying that basically, like, the major scholarship that people know about is the Chinese government scholarship. That is like the very common one. But there are other scholarships that are being sponsored by the university, which we will refer to them as the university scholarship. There are other scholarships like the provincial scholarship. So, you know, in China, we have province, and province are like states. So in this case, we will say it's like the state government scholarship or something. So there is the provincial scholarships too. So, but I want us as prospective candidates to look at these scholarships and be able to apply for them, not only concentrating or channeling our energy to just one scholarship, which is that Chinese government scholarship. That is the mistake that most people do. But I know of students that are currently in China that are being sponsored by this other scholarship apart from the Chinese government scholarship. So basically, though, I'll be talking about like general scholarship application in China will start around January or February. So majorly, let's just say January, February, but some schools do start their application as early as November or December. But let's just say Chinese government scholarship, January, February, and most schools might close by March and April. So it depends on the kind of scholarship you are applying for. So basically, as a prospective candidate, the first thing I'll advise you do is to carry out your research about the school that are available, as well as your course of study. So there is a site that is very important that I want everybody to note. It is called campuschina.org. Campuschina.org. It is a very important website. So what you do is you go to this website. It is full of resources. There are full of resources that you can use to help your search for schools and for your application. So under this site, you can search and also research about your course of study and the university that might be offering this course that you're studying. Just think about any course that you think you have done. It is available in China. In short, I don't think there is no course that will be lagging there. So what you do now, if you go to this website, there is a search button where you can use it to search for your course of study. So maybe, for instance, now I studied geology in my bachelor's, and then I want to study something related to geology, but I don't know which school offers that. What do you call it? Which school offer that course? So what I do is I go to the search button. They will ask you for course of study. I put geology there, and then it will ask me which level of application am I interested in. Maybe I want to apply for master's, or I want to apply for PhD. So I will just select it, and then from there I will make my decision. So when you search for it, there will be different search results will come out for you. So you will see different universities that suit your purpose. And also you can also search it based on the province, like each university that are located in a particular province. But since we're not familiar with the various provinces or which one we might be interested in, so you can just do your general search based on your course of interest. So you will have those universities. If you have the list of these universities that will be offering your course at that level of education that you are interested in, what you do next is to jot these universities down, do your homework, do your research. As one of the speakers have rightly said, Google is your friend, and it is virtually free of charge. So what you do is to note those universities, go online and go into that university's website and look into that university critically. Study it like you're carrying out what will I say, like you're researching a particular problem. So you should research it as much as you can. So, but I will also advise you to use or download the Google Chrome browser, because that particular browser has a translation option. Because most of the websites here in China, or most of the Chinese university websites are in Chinese. So due to the fact that you're not conversant with Chinese, you will need to see it in English. So that website will be able to translate for you immediately whatever it is showing into English, so you can be able to do your studies or do your research appropriately. So when you go to that university, you'll be able to read about the school, read about your course of study. You'll be able to understand which faculty. Okay, here in China, what we call faculties in our universities here in Nigeria could be referred to as school. Maybe School of Earth Resources, School of Engineering, School of Arts, and so on and so forth. So you know which school your course of study falls under, then you can be able to navigate to that, and you have much information about that interest, that your field of study. So the next thing also you should take note is that when you are applying, you should start as early as possible to be able to get a supervisor, like an advisor. You know, here in Nigeria, when you apply for MSc, even some universities up to PhD level, you just buy the form and then you fill it and just apply. You don't really need a supervisor or an advisor. But here in China, as even from your MSc, I think people that do not need a supervisor or an advisor at the point of application is mostly the bachelor student. So, but from master's, PhD level, it's advisable you have somebody that you are ready and willing to work with, and that person is also willing and ready to accept you as a student. It will help your whole application process to become easy. So the next thing I will advise is for you to get a supervisor. How do you go about getting a supervisor? One of the key things that will help you to be able to identify a potential supervisor is through this search that I've said about that I've talked about earlier. You know, you have the power to be able to go to that particular website, navigate your way up to that your department. So there will be lists of faculty members, you know, that are currently working there. Though some of them are not working there because some of the websites have not been updated or so on and so forth. But just do your homework. From the names of those people, some of them will have a profile there that will contain their email address and some of their research work that they have carried out. Though some of the websites will not be lenient enough to give you those details. So that is where you have to do the extra work yourself. So in the case whereby those information are rightly available to you, you have the email address, the contact address of that person. All you need to do is to research his work. If it is in line with your area of interest, you can go ahead and read some of the person's work and then make contact with the person. From there, you know, you can communicate and then you guys can relate. Some of them will give you and will offer to interview and so on and so forth before accepting you. But there are many cases that few people are complaining about. Oh, I've gone to the website of this school, I checked it, but they just leave the name of the person and maybe some few information about it. Get the name of supervisor, get some of the papers that he has published in reputable journals, go to Google, which is always your friend. Type in those things, key them together, get those papers of that person. And most of the time, those supervisors could be corresponding authors, or in some cases, they are even first author of those papers. If you're though each journal have its way of presentation, but if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to have the email address of that person in that particular publication. So you see, you're able to get the person's contact. Then you can make contact from there. So all set and all done. At the end of the day, maybe you're fortunate enough to get a supervisor. You never give up, man, because there are some people that didn't have supervisor during application. But what do? Just try your best, give in your best, and then let's say leave the rest to God or something though. So just try to make your contract, try your best, and if you have the supervisor, fine. If you don't have a supervisor, fine. That shouldn't stop you from your primary goal of getting to your final destination. So you still prepare for your application. But I'll advise you, when you're looking for supervisor, you know, mostly school resume around September in China. So by September, new students have resumed, but application will open something somewhere around December and so on and so forth. So between September, October, November is a perfect time to must have gotten a supervisor in preparation for your application. So I will advise you do that ahead of time. So it will give you some certain level of confidence and some certain level of advantage during the application. But notwithstanding, if you are not able to get a person that is willing and ready to accept you as a supervisor, just go ahead with testimony. I, as a person, when I applied for my admission, I looked for supervisor, but I was not lucky enough. I still went ahead to apply without a supervisor, and I still got the admission. So the next thing you do is prepare for your admission. After you must have gotten the universities and maybe possibly the potential supervisor you're going to work with. So next thing you do is to get some materials or some documentation or documents ready. So first of all, one of the things that is very important when you're applying for an international, not only in China, but an international admission as well as scholarship, you will need your international passport. You know, yeah, that's like I would say that's just like one of the first things that you need to do. Get your international passport. You can ask around how to go about that in Nigeria. So get your international passport is very important, because in this kind of scholarship that we are trying to apply for, without your international passport, I doubt if any school here is going to treat your application. That's just the truth about it. Even during registration, if you don't put your international passport number, I think you're not going to proceed or something. So it is very important you get your international passport. So after getting your international passport, irrespective, you should get your educational credentials, which could include, depending on the level of education that you currently attain, it could range from WAEC or your secondary school certification, your bachelor's certification, and your MSc certification. So if you're applying for the master's, you will need your BSc certificate. And then if you're applying for the PhD, I think you will need your MSc and your bachelor, I think, because I'm a master's student. I've not yet applied for the PhD, but I think you just get both of them ready. And you also need your transcript. That is, your transcript from your university is very important too. So once you get these two documents, your educational certificate, that is your MSc, your bachelor, and then your transcript, what you do is to notarize them. That is what they need a notarized copy of those documents. So when you notarize them, when you notarize those documents, okay, I will just tell you how you're going to go about it. There are what they call the public notary, right? In Nigeria, those are just lawyers that normally are being given the license to be able to notarize a document to show that it is original or it is authentic. So, but if you're really going to follow a public notary, it might cost you. But what we are trying to do is to advise. When I was applying, I actually used a notary public, which charged me almost 5,000 naira per document. Then just have a true copy of my bachelor certificate and my transcript. But recently, I've realized that they do accept certified true copy from a court, a government court. So I would advise that based on financial grounds and situation, you can be able to go to the high court or one of the courts, government court, and then you get a certified copy, true copy of that, your bachelor's or MSc certificate, as well as your transcript. So normally it depends on your location and it depends on your bargaining power and so on and so forth. But it can go for as low as 200 naira, 100 naira, 500 naira, even 1,000. It all depends on your location. So this one is left onto you to bargain properly. So what you do is to certify your transcript and your bachelor's as well as your master's certificate in preparation for the application. So the next thing you also need as part of the document for your application would be, so I've listed international passport, 1, 2, your bachelor's as well as your MSc certificate, your transcript, so that is 3. The next thing you will need at least 2 recommendation letter. Some schools do ask for 3, but most of the time I've noticed that it is 2 that they ask for. So you are supposed to get a recommendation letter from your professor. Okay, normally they say they need at least an associate professor. So just get 2 associate professors or professors to be able to issue out a very strong recommendation letter for you. Not all those general recommendation letter that blah, 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 blah. Please let the person knows you personally and give you a very strong recommendation letter. It's very important. You know, you can imagine you're applying with people from all over the world, and then they have good recommendation letters, and then they're just giving you some general recommendation letter. It doesn't make sense. So just try as much as possible to get a very strong one. Somebody that is familiar with you that will be able to give you a mind-blowing recommendation letter. Actually, these 2 recommendation letters, they should just be on your letter-headed paper, possibly sign and stamp if possible, though from your university, right? You don't need to notarize those letters. I think in their original form they are okay. Yeah, something like that. But I think recently, based on application from last year, I don't know because my application was in 2018. We just need to upload our recommendation letters. But I think from last year or so, they used to ask for, is it electronic or something? I'm not very sure though, Sha. People that apply like, sorry, not last year, this year, from this year or so, people that apply this year will be in a picture to give information about that. So you get your recommendation letter. Another thing you will need to get is your study plan, or some places they call it statement of purpose. So in your study plan is just, study plan, statement of purpose, or research proposal, or something like that. Research proposal. So it depends on the school, it depends on your supervisor, it depends on many factors. So some people will ask you to submit a research proposal for whatever you're planning or working on. So you're going to find out about how to go about that. And then some people will ask you to just give them a statement of purpose, right? You know, they'll ask you for a statement of purpose or study plan. So this is where you are, like your statement of purpose, you're just trying to tell them about yourself, what you have been up to, what you are thinking you can be able to deliver, and so on and so forth. Just basically, it's a place to show them who you are, sell yourself, and so on and so forth. So it's very important for your application too. So the next point, next documentation you need for your application would be, but this is not compulsory in all cases, but some school do ask for it recently, the police character certificate. You know, that is a police report. Some school ask for it, some school do not ask for it. So it all depends on the particular school you are applying, because if you are doing an application, you have to take this school individually, study it as a whole, you know, as a single entity. Then you'll be able to make your application. Don't just take it as a general something, you know, because this school is asking for it, you think all school are asking for it. Because this school is not asking for it, you think all school are not asking for it. No, you have to do your homework. You have to sit down, write each school and what they need before you go about your application. Yeah, you can get the police report in Lagos or so. So it also depends on your bargaining power and so on and so forth. So another point that you will need is, another thing that you need for your application, it depends. You know, when you're applying, some schools, some courses are in Chinese, some courses are in English. So like if it is a Chinese taught program, normally if you come here, they normally enroll you for a 1-year Chinese language program classes before your main course of study starts. So, and also if it's an English taught program, immediately you come, you'll be able to start your studies right away. So during your application, most especially if you're applying for an English taught program, I will advise that as part of your supplementary documentation, as an added advantage, if you have the test of English, you know, either the IELTS or the TOEFL, you can add it to your application. It wouldn't hurt. Sometimes it will even give you some form of advantage. Though some school will ask for it that they want it compulsory. Some they will say it's optional. So if you have it, just add it. It won't hurt. And some school will still say if you don't have the test of English, you should get a letter from your former university stating that you were taught in English, so that they will know that you can speak English, or so on and so forth. So you will get what they call the English proficiency letter in that instance. But if you have the test of English, you can easily upload it and it is acceptable. So if your course is going to be in, is going to be Chinese taught, most of the time they don't really need you to have a Chinese knowledge, because they are willing and ready to train you for your Chinese classes. But recently, I realized that if you have a certification for Chinese, classes is called a HSK. So they will ask you, do you have the HSK certificate? If you have it, to some extent, it's not like you are saving them some stress, most especially in this era of the pandemic, whereby things are being done online. So they can be able to see how they are going to start classes immediately, not going to do Chinese language classes. So because even this year's application, I realized that in my school, people that apply for the Chinese language program, for the Chinese thought program, after nomination, they were now asked to kind of change to English thought program because they need to start lectures right away, not trying to do classes, because seriously, doing a language class online is not going to be easy. So I think that's one of the things they are looking at. So if you have the HSK certificate, which is proficiency for Chinese language, I think you are okay to go. You can apply for it. You can add it to your application. Sorry, you can add it to your application. So that is that. So basically, these are some of the things that you need for your application. And then now, some of the things you need to consider is that there are numerous schools here, and some of the schools, the application is free, and some of the application here are they charge application fee. So what you do is that during your search for school, you categorize your schools based on the one that have application fee and those that do not have application fee, and know how to go about the payment of the application fee. Sometimes some school give you the option to be able to make your payment online. Like some people give you the opportunity to be able to make your application, your payment online. Some you have to have a Chinese card, so on and so forth. So when you are found in this situation, that is where you will be able to have your friends that are already here to be able to help you with just application. So after that, I will still advise you to still apply for those schools that also have application fee. Just widen your horizon, spread your wings, because some people tend to run from away from schools that are charging application fee, which is not good. So just apply for them. And then now, after you have done all those your application, you have gotten this document, you apply online. So there are two ways you can go about your application. There's the CSC site, you can make application there. And then some school need you to come to their university website also to drop an application there. So after you have done that, you're meant to print out the document from that completed form from the CSC site as well as the university site. Join them with your supporting documents, which are all these documents that I've listed. Go to the courier service, post it to the international office of those schools, and then wait for nomination or selection. Though some school will invite you for interview after the application, then nomination, and then selection. Though some school will tell you don't need to send your document, hard copy of your document. So these are things that I'm trying to say, that each school have their own policy. So you should try and treat each case differently and know what they need and know what they don't need. And basically, that is how you go about it. So you wait for it after nomination around June or July. You'll be nominated by July, August. You get your final selection. You get your document being posted to you at your address that you supplied during your application, and then you proceed for your visa application. So as I said earlier, there are different kind of scholarships. So just try and apply for as much as possible. At least if you don't get this one, the other one would be able to work for you. So just make your research and just make different research and apply not only one school, 2 or 3 schools. If you have the capacity or the power to make different applications, just make it. You don't know which one your luck is going to shine. Some people applied for 1 and they get it. Some people applied for 2 and they got the 2. So it all depends. So just get your documents ready ahead of time, and don't be procrastinating that I will get it tomorrow, I'll get it next tomorrow. Before you know it, it's time for application. and then you are not ready for application. So that is it. Just do your due diligence, do your best, and wait for God to count your efforts. Yeah, I think that I will stop here for now.
Oh, thank you so much, Agon. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You really shared in details and step by step. I so much appreciate your well organized presentation, oral presentation. It was really details, and I really follow it up. And I gave some of the vital information you gave also. I tried to give it up in the chat section so that people can see
Okay.
as you mentioned them. So we really appreciate it.
Mm.
So you can still stay behind if there is question, because I'll still give time for questions. So if question comes
Okay.
up, you guys can still help us to answer. I think Adekunle
All right.
wants to quickly chip in something. So I'm giving him just 2 minutes to chip in whatever he wants to chip in to regarding some of the things you said. I think. Thank you, bro. You can mute your mic. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, Adekunle, you have the hair.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, about Agwon, I've already said everything, but there is one thing that I really want to chip in, but we are not really putting mind towards that. About the schools that we actually applies to. If you really want to apply to a school, to me and to the experiences that I've gathered, I think the rank of the school also matter a lot. The rank of each school matters a lot. Like, let me chip in some, maybe someone that graduated from nationally, maybe the school you graduated from is ranked maybe 200 or 150 in your home country, and you are trying to apply to Zhejiang University or Tsinghua, that's the best university in China. You know how it will be difficult. So you have to weigh your option first. Maybe after you have already checked all the courses that you think you want to study, and you've already checked the list of the schools that are doing the courses, I think the next thing for you, before you select your school, before you settle for a school, you should check the rank of the school we are talking about and the rank of your school. If you graduate with second class upper, not even first class, maybe second class upper, and your school is rated, is ranked like 100 in your home country, I mean Nigeria, there is no how you can apply to Tsinghua University. No, I'm not, it is something that I have seen. And many people that I always talk to, they always share the same experience. So I think that also affects application, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you guys have already seen something like that. I'm not sure, because the way where people will just think, okay, well, they've applied and they are expecting things. And some people will apply to just one university, they will be expecting, it's only God that make things happen. If you have not applied to 20 universities, don't sit down behind your system and think you have already applied. There are many people that applied to like 10, 12 that were not even able to get any. And there are people that applied to only 2 that got scholarship. So it depends on luck. But I will advise, don't just apply to 2 universities or 3 universities. Just apply, extend your tentacles. Maybe, CSC, you can only apply to 3 universities for CSC. We have other universities there. Check other universities, then apply to the school university. Presidential scholarship is also okay. Then there are some other ones that we still have. So we check on that. But the paramount thing is, check the rank of your university, check the rank of the university you are applying to. It also speaks a lot. That's what I want to say.
Oh, thank you so much, very much. Adekunle, we really appreciate your contribution. And Adekunle will be one of our speakers also for tomorrow. So we can wait to enjoy more details about his own speech tomorrow. So thank you very much for that. Right now, I'll be inviting Mofe. I hope Mofe is online. I've tried to message him. Mr. Mofe.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Canavia.
Okay, sorry. Before Mr. Mofe goes on, I'm very sorry, Madaki, but thank you for introducing yourself earlier. before, I'm a man, I'm not programmed, so I can't introduce everybody the way I plan to. Okay, for Mofle is a MSc student in Tianjin University, and his full name is Oluwadamilola Ogumola, and he said he's from Oyo State. He wanted to know, and he's currently undergoing his master degree program in chemical and process equipment engineering at Tianjin University. So you have the hair, Mr. Amofe. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Can I be heard now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Tolu, for giving me the floor, and thank you for this platform. It's really a privilege to take on the air to talk to people about my experience. Yeah. So, firstly, I want to congratulate everyone who have been privileged to get a scholarship to study in a prestigious country like China. Irrespective of the university you have been given admission, and I think it's still worth appreciating God for. And now you can have God and hard work to thank, because it's not easy going through the stress of admission and eventually you're able to land one, especially in a country like China. So I think a lot has been said about application process and about. I would just like to share my experience on the visa application, because I think that is the most important thing. Everything is a phase, application process is a phase, visa process also is a phase. And I think that is the most important phase. If you secure an admission, a fully funded scholarship, if you're unable to get a visa, it's as good as if you're going nowhere. So you remain back in your country. And I'm going to share experience in line with that for you to know how important it is for you to take your visa application seriously, because it's paramount and it's the most important aspect of your application process. Firstly, I would like to talk about the application form. That is the in fact, it is the key. I think someone is sending a message. Tolu? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just trying to tell people the visa documentation is very important.
Okay. Yeah, the application form is the number one thing you need to be able to surmount, because the application form is just what is telling the consular general about you and everything about you and what you're going to China to do. Is going to summarize, it's going to give them like a brief aspect of everything you're going to China to do, because people come to different countries for different purpose. So you are going there to study, it's going to be indicated on the form, and it's very important. It's a very long form and it's a very tedious one. So you need someone with a very good experience to fill it for you, because maybe you don't know. Well, from my experience, I've seen that form being the reason why some people were denied visa to come to China. So it's very important for you to take that form very serious. I need to take your time to check it well before you submit your visa application form. And very important, I would like to talk about your documents. I think someone has said something regards to that earlier on. A document is very important. Victor said something very paramount, that, Nigeria, we have been underrated because, some people were opportunity to get this opportunity before us. I've already spoiled a lot of things, even for those who are willing to be serious with application. From my experience, I think during my time, I was privileged to do my visa application in Abuja. When you enter the what's it called, the embassy, you will see it written on their wall that if you are caught with wrong, with fake documents, you will not only that you will be denied, you will also be arrested. And I think it's worth it. And the reason why they are doing that is because of their experience in the past. So you need to be very, 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 very careful. Your document is very important. The paramount one is your original document. Make sure you carry everything about you to the embassy when you are going for your interview. It's not a load. carry everything about you. And before you go for your application, before you go to submit your application rather, you need to do some documentations. Like, you need to authenticate your documents. Very important. And I'd like to say this. Once you get your scholarship documents, I'm talking about your admission letter and your visa application for maybe J201, JW201, or JW202. 201 is for those who got a scholarship on CSA, while for other form of scholarship is on 202. So the moment you're able to get your document, please don't wait any moment. Go straight. Don't just go straight to the embassy to apply. You need to first go and authenticate your documents. Take time to go on the internet to search for the document needed. If fortunate, if you are staying in Abuja, I think Abuja, I would recommend Abuja for people because I've been privileged to do my visa application. In fact, I didn't even expect that's so the kind of interview because my interview was quite different from every other testimonies I've had. So please authenticate your documents. Take for instance, if you are using WAEC or NECO, you need to buy 3 days, but I couldn't because people were so many that I can't even finish it in a week. But thank God I was able to find my way out. And even while you're in Abuja, you need to go there very early. I won't lie to you, there are so many people, rich people, that will come with their children and they will just bribe those people and they will just go in before you. And there is nothing you can do about it. So you need to go there very early and make sure your documents are intact. From MOE's Ministry of Education, you need to go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs to authenticate your documents. All these things, you need to go through them before you make your way down to the embassy, because you don't just submit your document. For the visa, I can't remember the document actually, but maybe if I check my folder, I can still get the list of those documents so I can share maybe later on in the group. So you can keep an eye on every message coming on the chat. So before going there to submit your application document, I can remember some of the important documents is your, what's it called, your result, like I said. And I would like to say this also. The reason why I'm clamoring about this result is because I have someone close to me who was denied visa because of documents. He was expected to come with the original, he was using WAEC actually. He's using WAEC actually. So normally you're expected to come to the embassy with the original document. So it was with the statement of results. So if you're reluctant to collect the original copy before going for the application, and to his greatest surprise, he was denied. And he was even lucky his document wasn't stamped at that instance, because in Abuja, they don't stamp your document immediately. But in Lagos, if you do your interview in Lagos and you are denied, immediately you cannot apply again, because on that document, they will stamp it checked. And when it has been stamped checked, you cannot reapply again. And you can testify to this. I think when he's sharing his own testimony tomorrow, you can learn from it, because he has first-class experience of what I'm talking about. So you need to be present tomorrow to listen to his testimony. You will learn from him a lot. So you need to go with your original document. And also, once you enter the interview, before going in for the interview, after submitting your document, the next step is that you are going to fix a date to come for your interview. They will give you a date you're going to come for the interview. And the interview date is the very important date, and it's a fearful date. I think in my own case, it was so fearful because then I was working. And the moment I got my documents, I had to resign my job, even without getting a visa. You can imagine now what the kind of reckless decision I make then. I have not gotten my visa. I had to resign my job. So it was someone that was calling my attention to it that, why will you resign your job when you have not even gotten a visa? So I was so scared, thinking that I don't pray to be denied, because if I'm denied, there's nothing to fall back to. I've resigned my job. There's nothing to do at all. So I was so scared. I was just praying along, everything. So when I got to the embassy that day for my interview, there are 2 interview rooms in Abuja. In one interview room, you will see one consular there. The other, you will see two consular there. I was also trying to scan, the operation, how they are attending to people. In some rooms, people will come outside. You will see students coming out, frowning his face. That is to tell you that this person has been denied visa. No doubt. But if you see someone smiling out, that means the person, though they won't tell you immediately whether you are denied or you are given. The only way you will know that you have been denied is after you left the interview hall and the attendant told you to go to the account. That means they're asking you to go and collect the remaining part of your money. You have been denied visa. But on the other hand, if you are given a pickup form, it means you have been granted visa. That means there will be a date on the pickup form. That is the date you're expected to come to pick up your visa. But in Lagos, the difference is the case also. You can be given a pickup form, and on the pickup date, you will see your international passport. Some people, you will open it, you will not say visa, you have been denied. So please don't try to miss tomorrow's testimony. And you will testify to this. So please try. So please, once you go for your interview, try and be vigilant. You don't have to sit, just relax. Though you need to be relaxed, but at the point you need to be conversant with what is going on in the room. When I entered the interview room with the consular, she's a female, she's the only one. To my greater surprise, I was expecting a big question. She just asked me to bring my documents, and I just give my document to her, and she didn't even check anything. She just told me I should bring my WAEC and everything. And I'm using ECHO. So he saw my ECHO results. So she was even joking with me that, why do I have CCC in all my results? I said then I was very playful. So she was smiling, and just few minutes, she just released me and I just left. And I was even scared because she didn't see anything. And the fearful thing is that once they're interviewing you, she's a Chinese, everything you are saying, she's recording it in Chinese. You can't see what she's writing and you don't even understand what she's saying. But she will communicate with you in English. But if she's going to document on every paper, she's going to document in Chinese. So you don't really know what she's writing down. So then you need to be careful what you need to say to, because different questions can come. I wasn't asked too much questions, but some people, they were asked questions, why are you going to China? What is the name of your university? What is the address? Those are the things you need to know. You can be thinking they're just flimsy. They are not flimsy things. You need to know everything about this thing. What kind of scholarship are you on? How much are you paid? All those things. What is the name of your supervisor? They can even ask you, how did you get the scholarship? Or it's not totally a silly question, but it's a silly question to some extent. So all these things you need to be able to answer and you need to put on a smiling face. You don't need to go there angry or maybe frowning, You need to put a friendly look with it, because consular, they don't smile. But whenever you're talking to them, try and put on a friendly smile so that they will know that, yes, you're not going to China to fight. And I also like to do something, try to chip in something, from my experience, because thank God I was able to get the visa, right? But before I go in for the interview, there are some guys behind me, of which later, after I did my interview, and they also went in to do the interview, the two of them were denied. In fact, one of them was crying in my presence. I was like, what's wrong? He said he was denied. I was like, what happened? And this guy, he even got a scholarship previous year. The same woman that denied her that year was the same woman that denied her the same year. So he doesn't even know what's wrong. And I was able to trace it back to the application form. So I'm trying to say this all over and all over. Try to fill your application form correctly. It's very important. Try to fill it correctly. And also your document, because they will scan, even when you enter the interview room, they have a machine. They will scan the documents. They will try to see if it is authenticated. All these things are part of the things you need to be, conversant with before you go for your interview. And also, before you go in for interview, try and get much information. Go there very early, because people are always much on that very day. Going with everything you need, and try to be, try to have what's it called on physical balance, and mentally you need to be balanced. You can also eat so that, when you eat, you have energy to talk and to go through all this stress, because it's a rigorous process. But if you're able to get what you want, everything will be fine. So I think Tolu is already giving me a signal. I think I still have a lot to talk about, but if I still have the privilege to talk, I can still add to some. But please try as much as possible to take every bit of information given to you here, because they are priceless. You can't get it from anywhere. You can only get it from those who have gone through this experience. And you are privileged to be on this platform to get this information free of cost. So try and take this information, try and take it very important and serious, and do the right thing. I pray God will help us. And that's where I will stop right now. Thank you.
All right, Mofe, thank you very much. Really appreciate your contribution and your testimony about your application so far. And I hope you are doing good also in Tianjin, a very beautiful city I've been to. Okay, right now I will be giving the stage to one of our new one of the new admitted students, a PhD. It's a new PhD student that was just admitted to Dalian Institute of Chemical Physics in Chinese Academy of Science. So he'll be having his PhD in physical science, physical chemistry. Wow. And he previously had his master's degree in physical chemistry also in the University of Ibadan, and also had his Bachelor of Technology in FUTA in industrial chemistry, and he once also had his national diploma in the Polytechnic of Ibadan. So the person I'm talking about is the person of Adegoke. Adegoke just got admitted into China this year, so he's one of the applicants that will be applying for visa and some other things later. So we want to hear from Adegoke's testimony. But Adegoke, I don't know your name here. Maybe you can just drop a message. Adegoke, if you are in the meeting, you can just drop. You can drop a message, please. Or you can just raise up your hand. Adegoke, can you hear me? Adegoke, okay, Technoxy X. Okay, now you can unmute your mic. Adegoke, I can see you. You can unmute your mic now. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can't see you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Adegoke Hafiz Awatunde from Nigeria.
Can you hear your
Recently, I just got admission. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yes, you can't see me because the network was so bad.
Okay, continue.
The network is so bad. So I just try to find a confined area to join the meeting. So I just got admission at the Dalian Institute of Chemical Physics, Chinese Academy of Sciences, PhD in physical chemistry. Though I started the application lately, and that was around March this year. And due to the pandemic, coronavirus pandemic, I think the application was extended to April 30. Ideally, under normal circumstances, the application is supposed to end by March 31st. But due to the pandemic,
I think we lost his connection. Adegoke, are you there? Yeah, I think we lost his connection. Maybe if you join back later, you can drop a message. Okay, before we continue from there, he is the last speaker for today, but now I want to give space for question. If you have any question, you can just signify by raising up your hand so I can unmute you, you can ask a question. So while waiting for that, I would like to address the question of Afolabi Tosin. Yeah, Tosin, you can actually get a scholarship here in China to study for your MSc or even BSc or PhD, even if you have an HND if you are an HND holder. From experience that I've heard from some people, I think what you need to do first is you need to, what you need to do first is you need to find a way to get into China first. Like the person I knew actually came here to study for Chinese, 1 year Chinese course first. So during his 1 year Chinese course, he was able to, Akoni, I saw your hand. I will call you after this, my talk. So after 1 year Chinese course, he was able to know around the CTA schools to apply to, like, know people. So after then, she applied for her master's. You understand? So when she applied for her master's, she got the admission with her HND. So when she got the admission, she don't need to travel back home to reapply for visa. So she just continue on her previous visa of study that she came in with the Chinese study, 1 year Chinese study. But that Chinese study mostly is always on self-sponsored. It's only mostly on self-sponsored, so you might need to pay for that 1 year Chinese study. But getting here with your HND on Chinese study, then from there you can shift to do your master's degree. But if you are trying to do it from home also, you can actually get the admission. But the problem you might be facing is at the embassy, because the embassy can differentiate between HND, OND, and BSc or BTech. So the embassy might not be able to recognize your HND or ND as the same as BSc or BTech or any other B. You understand? So you might need to find a means to come to China first, then from there you can apply for your MSc. So that is what I think about OND, HND ways. That is what I know. But you can actually get the admission, but you might have a problem with the embassy getting your visa if you are not coming here for maybe language studies. So thank you. Okay, let me give Akoni. With WAEC, you can't do MSc directly with WAEC. With your WAEC, you can come for your MSc, like you can come for your BSc, like your undergraduate study. And also with WAEC, you can come for language study also. 1 year language study, or anyhow, you can come for your language study with your WAEC. If you have your WAEC, you can come for language study or undergraduate study. So that is that. Okay, Connie, where are you? Where's Connie? Okay, I think we have TechnoS back, but TechnoS, you are not. I can't unmute you. I don't know why. You don't have microphone in front of you. Connie, I can't find you also. Okay, I can see you now. Ask to unmute. Yeah, you can unmute yourself now, Connie, and ask a question.
Hi, everyone. Good morning to Nigerians and good afternoon or evening to people in China. My name is Akwane Akindele, and I want to appreciate the presentation so far from all the presenters. My question is, before I ask the question, I want to say this to Mufe. Mufe, 2 years ago in December, I think November, December 2018, we met at a center, if you could remember, that we went to write at Unilag. So I think you should remember that time that we went to write an exam, just back to maybe an application for job at a bank, and that's presently where I work. Okay, having said that, my question goes just to Agwon. Why during his presentation, while he was listing all the documents that will be needed for Chinese admission, I want to know if there's a restriction of age for any level of course of study. For example, to study master's degree, what age range must you be, and what age range must you have as well for your PhD degree of study? That is my question for now. If there are other questions that we need to ask, I'll be asking them later. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for that, Akoni. Agon, are you there to answer the question? If you are there, you can just give me a thumbs up so I can unmute you. or I can answer the question directly for you. Madaki, you can unmute yourself and answer the question if you are there. Okay. For that, Akoni, yeah, there is an age limit. There is an age limit for application for scholarship. I'm not really that sure yet, but I think maybe for masters, I think it's 35. I'm not really, I can't see, but I think it's always, or maybe let me just check. Can I check? Maybe I will check later and give you the update, but I think for masters, I think it's 35, and for PhD, I think it's maybe 40 or 39. Yeah, for PhD, I think it's 45. I think it's some people say 45. So I'm not that sure, but it's always on their side. I think that is for scholarship, but for self-sponsored, I think there is no age limit. For self-sponsored, I think there is no age limit on that. Okay. So did any other person have a question? I think iPhone was raising up his hand earlier. So iPhone, you can talk now.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to quickly add something to what Mufes said. Everybody has his or her own perspective as regards the visa application. For me, I would say Lagos is better than Abuja. Well, if someone else wants to talk, they may say Abuja is better than Lagos. But why did I say Lagos is better than Abuja is that there are some documents they requested in Abuja which they don't request in Lagos. Take for instance, all these going to MOE, that is Ministry of Education, for authentication, for verification and all those stuff. You don't need all those things in Lagos. For Lagos, what you only need is just certify your documents at the High Court. With that, you are fine. Just make sure you go there with the original one and the photocopy one. And make sure it is legit. Don't do all this mago of a thing. Once they are certified one from the High Court, you don't have much problem. So that is that. Then I also, concerning the online classes for those that are yet to enter China, Chinese app is very voluminous, or let me say it has much weight in terms of their applications. So I would advise you, when you are installing this, try to install some of the software on a laptop that has much RAM. That is maybe 4 or 8 gig RAM, because most of their application, they are embedded in another application. You can have one application, but inside it, you have more than 4 applications inside it. So that is that. Then in searching for schools, I gave out one site the other time to look at different schools, findaschool.org. So from there, you can look at different schools in different countries. So when you click on China, you can see schools in China and look at different schools, those that have your options in that schools. That's that. Then another thing, I saw someone asking for HND or ND and HND. You can only apply for masters with your HND. However, not all schools accept HND for you to do masters direct in China, but only few of them accept HND. However, that shouldn't stop you in going to graduate school outside the country. So there is something called WES. We have what is called WES, that is Western Evaluation Service. That can also give you opportunity to apply to countries like US, Canada. With your HND, once you do WES, then it will be equivalent to the US BSc grade or Canadian grade. So I will urge us not to limit ourselves to China alone. We can also look at opportunities in other countries. Try as much as possible to apply to other countries aside China. The best is just to leave that country. That is the best. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll be asking for just one more question. Tosin, you can ask your question. I'll unmute you. Afolabi Tosin.
Good morning and good afternoon from both sides of the world. My question, still going about what I said the other time. I think with what Tolu said, he said OND and HND, I have to do one course like that before, not like direct for masters. Okay, let me start from WAEC. For me to use my WAEC, I don't know if I can go from masters like that directly with WAEC. And if I can't, what can I do with WAEC that when I get there, after probably 1 year or 2 years, I can then apply for masters? That would be more easier for me.
Yeah, if I can ask you directly, what is the present degree that you have?
HND.
Yeah, if you have HND, with your HND, I said you can come here to study Chinese language. Even with your WAEC, also you can come here to study 1 year Chinese language. That's what I said.
Okay, if I want to
study 1 year, I said if you come here to study 1 year Chinese language, then you can have the opportunity to know some schools that can accept you as a master student with your HND. You understand? But with your WAEC alone, I don't think you can go directly to study masters with your WAEC. Your WAEC can only make you to come here to study 1 year Chinese language or come here to study undergraduate as an undergraduate student. Also, some undergraduate students ask some scholarship also, but mostly it is after they have been admitted. The scholarship is based on their record, like their academic record. So that is it.
Going with the HND, coming there to study Chinese language, is it also on scholarship or self-sponsored?
Most Chinese language of 1 year, 6 months are always self-sponsored. Unless if I think they're always on self-sponsored.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Then let me give. We have just 4 minutes left. So I'm giving you just 2 minutes to talk, and I'll round up the meeting today. You can talk.
Yeah. About what my brother said earlier on about HND and something. If you really want to do it good, there are some schools there that, according to what Tolu said, that you can come with to do 1 year Chinese course. Many of people in this my school from Liberia, they came here to do Chinese course, and they have a presidential scholarship in my school, and they have CSE. All of them from Liberia, they are on presidential scholarship, and the money is very, very okay. So if you can do it that way, if you have the money, just come for 1 year Chinese course, 1 year. Once you are done with that, you do your MSc straight. I think what you can also do is mail the school. You mail the school that you are coming for 1 year Chinese course, and after that you want to use your HND to do your MSc. Is it acceptable? If they say they accept HND, my brother, the best thing you can do is just come to do 1 year course. Then after that, immediately apply for their MSc. They will give it to you. They don't have choice. They won't even deny you. I've never seen it. All of them here, they came to do Chinese course, and they did not. All of them applied for MSc. They gave everybody. So they didn't deny. They will never deny. So that is my own tangible advice, to come for 1 year course. Then after that one, apply for the MSc. By the time you are doing the course, once the application form is out, apply for MSc. So far you are their student, Chinese student, course student, they can't deny you. They will surely give it to you. That is my tangible advice. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. I think we are having more hands off, and I don't know how to deal with that now. So let me just give this last question to this person and we'll close the chapter. Yeah, you can ask your question now.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, and to yourself. Please, my question is around the notarization of documents. Let's say, for example, the transcripts from school. let's say for example, one has a copy with him or her. Is it before the notarization? Is it the original one that you have with you that you notarize directly, or you have to make a photocopy and the photocopy will be notarized? I don't know if you get my point.
Yeah, I got your point. You
The
know,
transcript as well as the
yeah.
certificate.
Let me just explain straightforward. You know, there is notary and there is CTC. Both of them will be done on the copy of your document. Your original document will still remain the same. I think, except
Okay.
except authentication. There is something they call authentication. That authentication can be done on your original document, but for notary will be done on a photocopy of your document. Also, CTC will be done on a photocopy of your document, not on your main document. But authentication of your document might be done on your document. Maybe that one is done by the Ministry of Education or Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That is authentication of your document. But for notary or CTC will be done on the photocopy of your document. So is that CTC, is that the notary document or the CTC document that you did that is needed by your school, not the photocopy of the notary document, if you got me. Like, this is a document. You notarize this document, you have this now. This is the notarized document. So they needed this notarized document, not the photocopy of this notarized document.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Now I understand.
the
But that
original,
means you can notarize, for example, you can make many photocopies of the certificate as well as the transcript and notarize everything.
exactly.
Oh, okay. Now I
Yes.
understand that.
Yeah.
Now I understand that.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's already exactly 6 o'clock here, and I think it will be exactly 11 o'clock back home. We really appreciate everyone that has joined us today, and I really appreciate you all for your contribution, your questions, your answers, and your stuff. So for tomorrow meetings, we'll be meeting also tomorrow, and I think we plan to meet by 2 p.m. in Nigerian time, which is about 9 p.m. in China time. So see you tomorrow, and we can have more discussion. If you have more time, we can maybe increase the time for like an extra 1 hour. But for today, I think we are going to close the meeting for now. Also, if you have any question that is not being answered, maybe you can put it in any of our group chat. So maybe if there we can see it and reply to you. Please drop those questions there. Thank you all for attending. I appreciate Mofe, I appreciate Mr. Rashid, I appreciate Adekunle, I appreciate Victor, I appreciate Adegoke also for his contribution. So see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Hi, Tia.